Hello friends, this is Parvez and I welcome to all of you on your channel Global Studies Aspirants. And today, as you can see on your computer screen friends, we're gonna talk about structuralism, and in this part we'll talk about further Russian formalism. Okay, and this is very interesting, very important topic for those students who are preparing for the NET examination or TGT or PGT perspective. Okay, all right, so let's get started. Here the very first slide friends, and the first, as you can see here, the mathematical linguistic circle of the 1920s and 1930s. Why the forefront of formalist criticism? Here what it means friends, at the time 1920s and 1930s was the forefront, the front line formalist criticism, and a related society was the Petrograd Society for the Study of Poetic Language. There was a society in Russia. Okay, they were studying, they are bound to study the society, the study of poetic language. Fine, and that's why the Russian formalist is often associated uh, with the work of Boris Eichenbaum. These are the some feminine critics over here: Boris Eichenbaum, Victor Seklovsky, and Roman Jacobson, and Yuri Tiernanov. Okay, so here are these most famous or most prominent critics as per the Russian formalist. Okay, so Russian formalism. Okay, so here the major works. First of all, I will let you know, friends, the major works that launched and popularized at that point of time by those formalists include Osip Brick, Eichenbaum, and Seklovsky. These are the first poetics that is published in 1919, and there were totally three critic. Okay, over here, that is three formalists, you can say: Osip Brick, Eichenbaum, and Seklovsky, and they wrote poetics. Fine. After that, the second work, Jacobson's Modern Russian Poetry, in that was launched in 1921. And then after that, again Seklovsky wrote a very famous, very prominent work on the theory of prose, and it was published in 1926 and further 1929. And after that, the last work, later works you can call, like Vladimir Prom's Morphology of Folktales, that was written in 1928. Okay, so friend, these work are very important as per your examination perspective. You can write down or you can take a screenshot. Here, let's talk about some main assumptions or main features of this Russian formalism. Here, the literature, especially poetry, friends, is a special function of language. The very first feature is that the poetry is a very special function of language. Okay, and second, it was possible to discover the underlying formulate or structures of literary text by study of devices. Here what they did over here friends, they used up special devices, poetic devices, by which they analyze the literary text. Okay, and they studied literary text. Okay, all right, and this is what the term they were fond of using to describe literary techniques, and it was called literary techniques such as symbolism. Okay, symbolism is also associated with this Russian formalism, and literary analysis could be as accurate as precise as science. Further, they told they emphasized this ideology that literary analysis could be as accurate and as precise as science. They compared literature with science. Okay, so I hope you must be getting, friends. Let's move on the next one slide over here. And this is very famous, very prominent, and very important term. You can write down defamiliarization. This term is very important as per your examination perspective, and it was coined by the great Russian formalist, that is Seklovsky. Okay, here the Seklovsky termed this defamiliarization. Fine. And what is defamiliarization? In a very simple word, simple language, I let you know, friends. When a literary text did was to use language in such a way that everyday objects, suppose you use the everyday objects, and we use that in a very different manner, in a very different way, and so that they look different and they look extraordinary, or they seem even strange, right? So when this kind of rhetoric language, poetic language is used, that transformed everyday objects into a something else. Fine. Okay, so by when we use these kind of words, this kind of idea, or sorry, terms, or this kind of word and objects, that is called as defamiliarization, because it generates a special effects. Okay, or you can say the special creativity. Okay, the that makes them different. Okay, and a literary text represents the world in such a way. When we represent this kind of literary text in a separate way, in a such or in such a way that that ordinary thing or ordinary object looks different, fine, they appear different, fine, and this is what engage the readers and whatever whoever the reader also want this kind of creativity. Okay, or this kind of entertaining or involvement act. That's why the readers get engaged or involved with the text, fine. Or so this the whole time is called defamiliarization, and this term was coined by Victor Shklovsky, fine. And here now let's move on the next one. This is very important metaphor and metonymy. In a very simple words, I will let you know, friends, in a very simple language. In when we in ordinary way, when we compare any particular objects to any other creature and define that working process is called metaphor. So for example, suppose friends, you are my precious gold. This is an example which I told you, that you are my precious gold. So here uh, I will compare you with gold. Okay, I'm comparing with gold. Okay, and here someone is compared or defined with gold. Here the same ideology is told here, that someone is compared or defined with gold. So that's why here the which poetic device is used, that is called metonymy. Okay, and we use the objects have equal power status. And now let's talk about the next another term, that is metonymy. Okay, sorry, it was the metaphor. The first one that was metaphor, and then now let's talk about the metonymy. Okay, metonymy is simple, friends. That's suppose for example, when we generally talk about Rashtrapati Bhavan, for example, the any such or any kind of orders, or any some orders has been passed by the Rashtrapati Bhavan, but in fact the orders didn't has not been passed by the Rashtrapati Bhavan, but by the Rashtrapati or president. Okay, but here we use this Rashtrapati Bhavan as a symbol or as a substitute word. Right? When we use this kind of symbol or these kind of substitute words, that is called as metonymy. And this metaphor and metonymy concept was given by a famous and prominent Russian formalist. The name was is Roman Jakobson. This term was given by Roman Jakobson. This concept was given by Russian formalist Roman Jakobson, and he worked with aphasics, people with inability. What is aphasics? Aphasics means the people who are in inability to use language. Okay, so they developed this term, this ideology for those, so that they can use normal, they can understand an ordinary language efficiently. Fine. So I hope friends, you must have got the complete process, and this is really very important video lecture for your examination perspective. And this metaphor metonymy is also very important. You can write down or take in screenshot. Okay, and if you really like this video, please subscribe the channel, and please share this video to your friend circle. And so that's all for today, and this is the time to say goodbye. Okay, I'll meet you again with the next video. Till then, bye and take care. Thank you for watching this video.